Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, starts with a weather impact alert.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Hart.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We're bracing for high winds and showers moving in tonight, but with that, some warmer temperatures.
Yeah, that's why we are in a weather impact alert tonight. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank starting us off with what we can expect. Rach.
Yeah, tomorrow is warm, wet, and windy. Highs will be in the 60s, and that's why we could even get a thunderstorm tomorrow. And along with that, some strong gusty winds. We'll see some showers increase in coverage through the overnight. So it's raining everywhere by daybreak tomorrow. But I think the heaviest rain and the strongest winds will be in the afternoon and early evening. We're expecting widespread 2 to 3 inches of rain, and there could be some isolated higher amounts up to 4 inches in eastern Connecticut. So some poor drainage flooding is possible, meaning you might want to leave yourself some extra time if you're traveling around, again, especially in the afternoon and evening. And make sure everything's charged up. I think some power outages are possible. I don't think this will be a high-end event for us, meaning it's not going to be, weeks in the dark, anything like that. However, once you start getting gusts up around 60 miles an hour, that's when you really start to see outages in Connecticut when there are no leaves on the trees. And I think it will be more common along the shoreline and in eastern Connecticut for this event. For showers, we've got some areas of mist out there right now. It's not even showing up on the radar, and we'll see more numerous showers later this evening. It'll be kind of off and on initially, but we'll really fill in as we head into tomorrow. So tomorrow, a cold rain to start off the day, heavy rain, strong winds in the afternoon, and that rain tapering off after 10 or 11 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll get a closer look at all this and what's to follow coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. Breaking news now out of Norwich. I-395 southbound's closed between exits 18 and 14 because of a tractor trailer crash. We know several vehicles are involved and there are injuries, but no word on how serious those injuries are. The crash happened just around 2 this afternoon. Deep is on scene for reports of a fuel spill. The crash is causing a long traffic backup, so state police want you to take Route 97, that exit, to avoid the area. And again, this is I-395 south in Norwich, just after the Shetucket River Bridge.
New video tonight shows the suspect in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson yelling as he heads into court. 26-year-old Luigi Mangione is charged with murder as police work to extradite him back to New York. Connor Hansen has the latest developments.
Yelling towards the cameras on his way into a Pennsylvania courtroom, 26-year-old Luigi Mangione is facing extradition back to New York City. After an extensive manhunt, it was a worker at an Altoona McDonald's who recognized the murder suspect from surveillance photos and called police.
I think the one worker that actually thought it was him, she said it between his eyes and his eyebrows. She says, when I took his order, it was like she got in her mind, oh my God, it's a guy from New York.
After getting charged for allegedly carrying a so-called ghost gun and showing police a fake ID, the suspect faces a murder charge in New York. Police say he was also carrying a handwritten manifesto describing, quote, parasitic health insurance companies.
We do not intend to delay this defendant's extradition to New York.
Since his arrest, some have celebrated the suspect and even made threats against police and other people in the Altoona community. That's something Governor Josh Shapiro and others are working to shut down.
In some dark corners, this killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on this. He is no hero. The real hero in this story is the person who called 911 at McDonald's.
Brian Thompson's funeral was held today in Minnesota. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children. Dozens of state troopers were seen there providing security. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Well, state data shows more people in our state are facing homelessness.
In response, the state is continuing its first-of-a-kind initiative in the nation to prevent families with children from experiencing homelessness by connecting them with permanent housing support.
Fox 61's Angelo Bavara was at the governor's announcement today in New Britain.
The big headline, Connecticut will continue its Head Start on Housing program, which started in 2022 and provides housing vouchers to Head Start families. Moving forward, the Connecticut Department of Housing will allocate 50 vouchers annually. Parents in this program say they have seen its success.
Before I got approved for the program, I was homeless. I do have 6 children with me. I didn't know I was going to get approved. I had nothing left, no more hope, so I just gave it a shot, and I got approved.
Lisa Mark Candelaria from New Britain spoke alongside Governor Lamont, other state leaders, and housing advocates at the Human Resources Agency of New Britain. That agency is home to a Head Start program, which provides early education and care services for low-income families. It's one of several Head Starts across Connecticut, partnering with the state for the Head Start on Housing program. Since its launch, that program has housed 144 families, including 317 children.
The need was identified by the programs, and the Office of Early Childhood responded to that need, understanding that so many families were being found homeless or in danger of becoming homeless within those early childhood education programs.
Head Start on Housing, I think, still continues to be the first in the country of this model in this effort.
Making sure we have affordable housing with the services you need to help you get back on your feet. You know, be that child care, be that addiction services, be that training, because that's what it means to have a home.
According to Connecticut's annual point-in-time count, the state's homeless population increased for the 3rd straight year. We're talking a 13% rise from January of 2023 to January of 2024. The count of homeless families with kids, that increased from 310 households last year up to 362 this year. Reporting in New Britain, I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
New Haven police are looking for more information about the murder of a 17-year-old Daley Jackson. There's now a $20,000 reward being offered, and that reward comes from an anonymous donor. Jackson was shot and killed in a driveway on Shelton Avenue on December 3rd. He was friends with the teen killed just 2 weeks before. Police believe there is a connection.
And a Manchester man faces charges in connection to a deadly crash that killed a teen last November. 22-year-old Jeremy Remos surrendered to state police yesterday. State police say Remos's reckless driving caused the crash on I-84 West near exit 56 in East Hartford. 18-year-old Yomar Barrios of East Hartford died. Remos is charged with second-degree manslaughter. He's out on bond and is due back in court next month. And a man is recovering tonight after a stabbing in Hartford. Police say it happened on Albany Avenue just before 10 last night. The man told officers he was stabbed at French's liquor store and then took a CT transit bus to East Hartford. He was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the man is not cooperating with the investigation.
Local leaders want answers from Anthem. Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal and Missouri Senator Josh Hawley wrote the health insurance company's CEO to ask about anesthesia coverage. You may remember the company threatened to deny care if surgery stretched past time limits set by the provider. They rescinded that policy, though, after public backlash, but those lawmakers say they still want an explanation. In their letter, the senators say, in part, quote, "In the interest of patients' health and safety, we demand answers regarding this ill-conceived policy and clear, direct assurances that a policy cutting off full anesthesia coverage mid-procedure will not be reconsidered or reimposed," end quote.
An update now on a trustee who oversaw the bankruptcy auction of Alex Jones's Infowars, asking a judge to approve the Onion's winning bid for the platform. This as Jones argues the auction was not run properly. If the Onion wins, Jones expects to be kicked out of the Infowars studios and its web and social media platforms. Most of the proceeds from the sale of Infowars, as well as many of Jones's personal assets, will go to the Sandy Hook families.
3 years after Tweed New Haven Airport launched its first commercial flight in years, they're now welcoming a new airline.
Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc was there as the first inaugural Breeze Airways flight left the Elm City this afternoon.
It's been nearly 2 decades since more than one commercial airline has flown out of this airport, and the folks involved here say this inaugural flight marks a brand new chapter here at Tweed. a moment years in the making.
Yeah, I wanted to fly on the first one out of here.
Connecticut customers using Breeze Airways to fly out of Tweed New Haven Airport to Fort Myers, Florida for the very first time.
Are we flying out?
Breeze now joins Avelo, marking the first time 2 airlines will operate out of this airport in nearly 2 decades, with Breeze now offering 11 of its own destinations by mid-February.
It's nice to have the convenience. It's close. We're only about 30 minutes away, so you can't beat the price, you can't beat the location.
It's something airport administrators have been envisioning for a while now.
This is a day that many people thought would never happen.
Sean Scanlon, now our state comptroller, was the director of the airport when those visions were being realized 5 years ago.
We had 1 flight every other day to Philadelphia, about 45,000 annual passengers each year. We believed in this place. We believed that this could be something more than it was at the time.
Since then, Scanlon says they've brought in 400 jobs and 33 destinations. And once the expansions of the terminal and runway are complete, Tweed plans to have 1,500 people working at the airport, with millions flying in and out of here.
The live, work, play model is what markets a state best, because if you travel here, that means you may think about wanting to move here. And if you move here, that means you might need to get a job here.
A project where they feel the sky is the limit.
It's insane. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it because, you know, this is a tiny little airport, so it's just going to get larger and larger and larger.
Let's be clear, this is just the beginning.
Now, Breeze officials say to lessen the impact on the surrounding community, they plan to only use newer and quieter planes, and they also plan to only schedule flights after 7 a.m. and before 10 p.m. We are in New Haven. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Julia. Wegmans plans to open its first Connecticut location in the new year. It will open a store in Norwalk during the second quarter of 2025, but there's no official date set. What we do know, though, is it will include a cafe with several grab-and-go food options like sushi, sandwiches, and pizza. And there will also be 12 Tesla charging stations in the parking lot.
We have breaking news right now on the roads. Traffic is backed up for miles along I-84 East because of this multi-vehicle crash. I'm not sure you can pick it out here, but that's what's causing this. The DOT is reporting this in the area of exits 50 and 51, but the traffic is backed up much farther than that. Cars are getting through, but very, very slowly. The DOT says the right shoulder is shut down while police investigate what happened.